Finding out that I had kidney cancer on my birthday was, of course, a bit of a disappointment, but encouraged to find out at the same time there was a very hopeful treatment for it. I'm David Stanley, 75 years old, and I come from Alderney in the British Channel Islands. My wife and I do quite a lot on the island for community activities, putting on shows, entertaining people, that kind of thing. I was fairly fit and healthy until about 2020 when I encountered a gallbladder problem, which led to some surgical difficulties which lasted for a few years. As a result of which I had a scan. In this scan they picked up that I had a small growth on my right kidney. I was aware that surgical intervention was a possibility, and indeed I believe in other areas of the country the solution would have been to just remove the kidney. However, given my circumstances and the previous procedures that I'd had, major procedures, with the possibility of another one on the horizon, cryoablation was very much recommended as the most suitable candidate for treating my kidney cancer.
I first met David at the beginning of 2024. He came over for a consultation about kidney cryoablation, but I'd actually known about his case for a month or two, having discussed him in the MDT meeting locally. Like many people, David's kidney cancer was found whilst he was having a test for another problem. He had some issues with his gallbladder and his bowel, and the scans that he was having done at that point found this small kidney cancer in his right kidney.
The outcome of the MDT in Southampton was a recommendation for the cryoablation procedure.
When we think about the treatment options for small kidney cancers such as David's, effectively there are three routes that could be followed. For the very smallest tumours, we can consider a period of surveillance where we simply watch and see what the tumours do as to whether they may grow or not. Above a certain size, then we would broadly think between a surgical option or a focal therapy option. In David's case, he'd had quite extensive surgery to his abdomen recently. And fortunately for him, his tumour was at the perfect size for offering treatment with freezing, cryotherapy, and could have been offered surgery, but the previous operations to his abdomen made that much more challenging. We used the CT scanner to guide needles or cryoprobes into the tumour. We can put them very precisely so that they match the shape and the size of the tumour and only destroy the tumour and a small cuff of normal kidney tissue without causing unnecessary collateral damage.
The procedure was just so straightforward. There was nothing to it.
So the cryoprobes that are placed into the tumour have argon gas that passes through them, and the passage of that gas through the needle allows the surrounding tissues to cool down, and we can cool them down sufficiently that an ice ball grows, and we can see that in the CT scanner. The ice is very, very cold at the centre. It's down to about minus 140 degrees Celsius, and at those temperatures the ice can freeze inside the cells, the cancer cells, and rupture them and destroy them. And then we can thaw the tissue to allow the water to move around the cells. And then we freeze the whole thing again to make sure that we get confluent cell death, but also to allow some killing off of the small blood vessels that could supply the tissue, much like you would have seen in something like frostbite.
The recovery itself was very straightforward. I can't remember any discomfort from it. I just recovered ever so quickly. It's opened up the rest of my life to me again. Family, community, getting about, driving my car, leading an ordinary life. For it to have been dealt with so professionally, so quickly, was absolutely marvellous.